All right, man. Well, welcome to the crying session of Marc and Jeremy. I am Marc here with Marky Sports, joined by my great friend Jeremy Sean. As we usually do post game, we're a little bit later tonight, but man, what an unbelievable! I can only take as a Bronco fan, Jeremy. I can only take so many heartbreaking losses in a game in a season, and it's usually around two. So we've basically exhausted that limit
Yep.
in this tragic 20 to 23 loss to the Chargers. How you feeling, man? What's your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just praying we look back on these two games and be like, remember how bad it was in the beginning of the season when we lost those two?
Yeah,
But
I know.
the big part is like, I feel we don't have, the thing about football is you need to be a smart, tough, disciplined football team. We're not smart. We're tough-ish until the other team's tougher, and we're not disciplined. So I don't like where we're at right now. I think, you know, those chickens are coming home to roost as far as talking about Super Bowl expectations and all that. I think that was a big miscalculation. I know he's gonna pump his team up, Sean was, but it's backfiring right now. And this team has to go out and take everything they can get. Nobody's gonna give them anything. And they were
No.
lucky to not be 0-3. We're this close to being 3-0, and we're this close to being 0-3.
And I feel like that's kind of been the theme for this team for a while now, right? I mean, I remember you look at it last year and you're like, yeah, we're 9-6, but we easily could have been, 11-4, but we easily could also be like 6-9. There's a lot of that, and it's just, what do you think it is? I mean, listen, I know it's a different season, right? So you have to look at it like a different season perspective. But there's a lot of carryover, obviously, from last year. Is there anything particular? Does it come down to coaching? Is it? I mean, what can you think of?
I think it probably does come down to coaching. I think, you start to get the leader, the personality of the team comes from the head coach. And I don't know. I just don't feel like, to me in this game was so weird because the two times he went for it on fourth down, I was especially that second time, I was like, I wouldn't do this. I would kick this field goal. And he did it and he got it. And I was like, wow, that took a lot of freaking balls to do that.
Yeah,
And it paid, and it ended up being the same as kicking a successful field goal. We ended up getting a field goal. And then when Bo doesn't get that first down on that scramble, which is his fault, I mean, that's the one where I'm a little starting to get annoyed, where it's just like, he broke his back last year. That's got to be in the back of his mind, right? But you have to get that first down. Like, you have to. You did all this hard work, and then to put your knee down early, and you just
yeah.
have to make sure you're 1 yard past, not just at the stick. And especially with the way they were calling that game. But yeah, and then they didn't go for it on that fourth down, where it's just like, that's all out of all the ones that I felt like, oh, he's going to go for it.
Exactly.
He punted
I
that
think that
one.
I think that's what bothers me because I feel like for me, as a quarterback, you're making that play. You're thinking, all right, I just got to get ourselves in a really close position, right? He's obviously, I'm sure he tried to get the first, he didn't, but he's thinking, man, we're going for this. Like
Yeah.
this, in my opinion, that was the obvious one to go for, right? Because you can look at the first fourth down before halftime, and you can say, yeah, they were kind of desperate, but it was also very stupid. Like if you think about it at the time, because you're like, all right, we can go into the half down 10-0. We're getting the ball on the flip side. We could punt it and pin them deep. You don't get it here. You're giving them at least 3 more points additionally. I was all for going. I was kind of in the mindset today of like, fuck it, dude. Just be aggressive and go. And so those worked out. And then this one at the end, it's like you had that aggressive mindset. I can appreciate that, whether they worked out or not, but they happened to. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have trust in my defense. Why? Do you not have trust in your offense? And if you had trust in your defense, you would have trust that your defense would not give up a touchdown at any part of the field. But another thing he has to realize in that situation, in my opinion, is you got to play the time game, right? Like, what was it, like 5 minutes left in the game at that point?
Yep.
You don't get it. You're at least guaranteeing yourself like a long sustained drive and maybe even 2 opportunities with 3 timeouts. But if you're kicking it and then they end up happening to go down and score, then it's like you're getting maximum one opportunity. And we obviously ended up doing that and not taking advantage of it. But I didn't like that. But man, I'm so sick of talking about the same result and the same like shit every single week, but different ways of going about doing it.
Yep.
You know? And so do you feel like I mean, we can look at last year and say, you know, we can have some optimism on that. But what is it this year? Like last year it was obvious. It was you know, a rookie quarterback, a lot of development going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this and that. But something about this team when it comes to these one-score games, I think they're 2-8 in their last 10 one-score games. What is it? And can it be fixed, and can it be fixed quickly?
Yeah, it's one of those things in my mind that it's like, even look at the greatest who ever did it. I grew up watching basketball. I watched Michael Jordan. He had to figure out how to beat the Pistons. He had to get past that next level before he could become a champion. And right now, there's so many young guys that they need to learn how to win tough, close games. And we haven't obviously learned that. And I don't think it's as easy as just saying like, you either have it or you don't, and you don't have it. Because look at Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is in year 5, whatever it is.
Yeah,
And
like
he was Mr. Throw a pick in the clutch moment a couple of years ago to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He was.
And now what has he done? He has beaten the Chiefs. He had a kind of a grind out game last week, and he came back and beat us. And he didn't throw anything dangerous. And so I think that's something that he's learned. And I think that's something we need to learn. And I think we over jumped our expectations. I just think like last year was obviously very successful, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got a quarterback. We're back. You know, we made the playoffs, but you have to be that team that nobody wants to see and is not afraid of the clutch moments, because in the clutch is when we're shrinking and the other team isn't.
Yeah.
And now I will say, like, Colts, if you want to look on the optimistic side, the Colts put it on them again today. The Colts look like a legit team. They're well coached.
They're very good.
And, you know, in the beginning of the season, you could have been like, yeah, the Colts, whatever. But they barely missed the playoffs last year, and they look for real this year. So that's a good team. And you had them. You choked that game away. You had them. Mm-hmm. Today, you're playing a team that has at least a 2-game lead in the AFC West after 3 games, has beaten, you know, good teams every week, except for like last week, you could say about the Raiders, but they're a really good team, and you had them. So like, if you're going to be optimistic, it's to say we're close, but you're going to need to get that mental toughness, and that you can't make mistakes in like the most clutch moments. You can't have Hufanga body slamming somebody for no reason. You have to be mentally tough. The 2015 year, everybody was so obsessed with Peyton Manning not looking good. We really didn't take the time to really appreciate how mentally tough our defense was. Yeah. They were so like, I don't care what we have to go against in the fourth quarter. We are going to make the play that we have to make. And we're 100% confident we're going to make it. And I don't care if it's against Tom Brady. I don't care if it's against whoever. We're going to make that play. And right now, I think they tighten up. You know, it's that young mentality of like, oh, I'm in the moment. And they're almost afraid to lose instead of going out and trying to win. And I think that's the thing they have to get over.
No, for sure. I think you make a good point. And I mean, and I'm glad you brought up the Justin Herbert, because I think it's a perfect example. Like, you know, he's kind of been the laughing stock of a lot of people in Broncos country and the Chargers in general, and rightfully so in a lot of ways. But like, I've been saying it all week, this Chargers team is unbelievably legit. The whole like jokes about the chargering and all this kind of stuff, like, it's funny, but they're a legit team. I think the culture's changed. I think Harbaugh's done a lot of things. I don't think that they're the same Chargers as before, but just like you had talked about, it took Justin Herbert a long time to get the killer instinct like he's got now. It took Josh Allen several years for him to even be a legitimate quarterback, let alone, you know, get to the level that he is. So how long do you think it takes? And do you feel like it's going to take like an entire season? Or do you feel like it's something that we can figure out, you know, this year and and turn it into a positive and make a legitimate run?
If I had the answer to that, I would be a
You'd be
millionaire.
rich.
Because everybody's different, and everybody, it might not just be Bo, or it might not just be the defense. It might be Troy one week. It might be Kroll one week. It just doesn't. We don't know, and that's where Sean Payton. It's up. He's the coach. He's got the skins on the wall of saying, I am a world champion and this is what it takes. And that I'm not seeing it. You have to be tough with them. Mike Shanahan, when he came in a long time ago, he figured out who was his kind of guy and who wasn't that kind of guy. And it didn't take first round draft picks littering the roster to do it. It took the right type of mental toughness people to do it. Rod Smith had it. Ed McCaffrey had it. Terrell Davis had it. Like, those are the people you have to figure out who are going to ride with you.
Yeah.
Now, this is a young team. They're going to make mistakes, but mistakes are different than shrinking, if I can say so. Like, there are certain players that if you can tell in basketball, it's easier because they don't have helmets on and you kind of just get vibes of like,
There's like
that
5
dude,
guys too.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, this dude does not want to shoot this free throw right now, or this person wants the ball. You know what I mean? You have to want the pressure. That's the whole thing about sports. You're not going to accidentally win a championship. You have to want it more than the other person. And in the biggest moments in today's game, we weren't the team that wanted it more. And that's what they're going to need to learn how to do. And I can feel good about a loss if we go down kicking and screaming, as John Elway used to say. Yeah. But I do not feel good about even a win like week 1, where sorry, my dog's up here, where we basically got lucky that the other team made more mistakes than we did. You know what I mean? That was there for the taking, and we just were like, So that's what it's going to be the whole season. That's what this season is about. Last season was about to see if you have a franchise quarterback. And I definitely still believe that. But this season is all about, can this team develop a killer instinct? Yeah. And what can they do? And hopefully, by the time we're in week 12, week 15, 16, 17, we won't be feeling this way anymore. But like early in this season, they heard the press clippings that this is a great team. This is a hot team to talk about. Everybody, that scared me. And I understand why it scared me.
I hated it too.
Because the last thing I want my team to do is to start feeling themselves. I want them to have to grind, and we didn't earn anything. Nobody believes in us. Those are the best teams. Those are always the best teams.
Yeah. No doubt. And I think it's a great point here with, Andy talking about Sean Payton saying Bo would be a top 5 looks so bad already. It does. And I didn't like that target that it put on our back, obviously. But in addition, I think people so quickly forget how bad it was a year ago. Like, and for the 9 years prior, the decade previously, how unbelievably terrible it was. And so just because we made a lot of progress and I felt like we were a year ahead of schedule, that doesn't mean that like this whole Super Bowl window, like I'll never tell you in a million years that I felt like we were a legitimate Super Bowl contender this year. But you need to see everything in those in stages, right? And I feel like you've seen it. Like you saw the team make strides, and the real big strides that they made last year, in my opinion, besides, obviously, and I agree with you about finding a franchise quarterback, but the big strides were like the teams that we were supposed to beat, we just beat them down. That was something that we never did for God knows how long prior to that. So that's good. But in the close games and the opportunities where you need to make a big play, that's the next level of like, that's where you need to be like, all right, you got to crush the teams that you're supposed to beat. And then in the competitive games against really good opponents, you've got to put yourself in a position where you're making more plays than them and not doing dumb stuff. And it was wild in this game, man, because like we won the turnover battle. That's something I talked about. We talked about being a huge key to the game. But our inability, and I am so sick of talking about this, but I think it makes my point in the sense of like learning these kinds of things. Our inability to control a game and even get close to winning the time of possession is crazy. Like a mind-blowing stat. This blew my mind when I saw it. Broncos had 2 turnovers today, right? We had an interception, and we had a fumble recovery on special teams. That means we essentially earned 2 additional possessions than the Chargers, but we ended up having the same amount of possessions, like drives, as them. They still ran 38 more plays than us. You are affording another. They almost doubled us in the amount of plays that they ran. You're giving them twice as much opportunity to win. It's insanity. It is insane, and it is a constant thing that we have just been so bad at doing. And I don't get it. I really don't understand, why that is the case. But that's gonna have to be that next level of like those small little finite details of like we need to. If we're not gonna put teams away, we might as well grind it out and give ourselves an even better chance instead of consistently giving them the life that they frankly don't deserve. But we've been giving it to them. So
I mean, to me, that's a perfect segue into the play calling. You go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out to start, and you're so freaking lucky that it's 3-0. Like for a long time.
So lucky.
I mean, when it was 10-0, I was like, this should be 21, 24-0. So at what point, I mean, I know Bronco fans are already calling for it, but like at what point does Sean need to figure out some play calling, because it's not looking great. Like the offensive line, every time we ran the ball, they were in the backfield. This is supposed to be this great offensive line that's like, oh, they're the best in the run. Yeah, what are you talking about? Like that was not there. And then Bo, I'm a little like, don't understand. Last year, I mean, to me, it's like, he feels like as soon as there's any sort of pressure, now it's like, I got to get rid of it. And I'm like, you weren't even like that last year. And look, the man broke his back. And I know that he's like, I don't want to, deal with an injury or whatever. But like, I don't like that at all. Like he's not calm. There was both of those long shots that hit the guys. I will blame the receivers as well, but he hit 2 receivers in their fingertips. And both times I felt like it just didn't need to be that ball. You could have thrown it 2 yards behind the guy and you would have completed the pass.
Yeah.
You didn't need to
especially on that one to Court in the 4th.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just back shoulder it.
Yeah. He's wide open.
Yeah. Now, I agree. Listen, here's what I think it is with Bo. And obviously, he has to be a lot better. I mean, he does. And I'm very confident that he will be. I think the thing with him, he's in this very important transitionary period that we see with a lot of quarterbacks, right? Whereas last year, I feel like he was really calm in a sense of like, if the first read wasn't open, he could improvise, he could take off running, he could throw it away, live another down. It was what it was. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's such a concerted effort for him to like, before you take off running, go through all of your progressions. So his mind is moving quickly to go through those possessions, and his body's just not catching up. It was very similar to the first few games we saw last year with him, but obviously in a completely different stage of his development. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's the small things. It's like, even on those deep balls where guys are so open, like, the planter foot was not right. Like Andy pointed out in the Discord very rightly, like he lifted up, he basically threw off his front foot and just kind of like jumped past it. Mm-hmm. But it's like, your mechanics on a throw like that don't actually have to be good because they're so wide open. Just throw it up in the air.
Right. Let him run under.
It's not like it's a tight window throw across the middle, or like the interception you saw last week against the Colts, where it's like, dude, if you can't drive it, just dirt it. These are just more simple throws. And on the other one, it's like he put a lot of air on it, on the one in the fourth to Sutton. But he put it was too far. It was like the ball was like a moonshot, but it was still too far. And it's like, it's frustrating. And then he's got to be better. Like I said, I have the utmost confidence that he will. And I think it's interesting that Andy says this. He goes, the one goal I think we all said over the offseason was to get a playoff win. In these past few games, I just can't see it with this team. What are your thoughts on that?
It depends. Right now, yeah, I agree. But I've seen too much football to realize week 3 is not the destination you're going to end up at. So yeah, if we end up squeaking into the playoffs and having to go on the road against a juggernaut, yeah, you're probably going to lose, right? Because like you're set up to fail. But at the same time, if you do develop that mental toughness throughout the year and you start peaking at the right time and you get hot at the right time, I've seen teams that barely made the playoffs win the Super Bowl. So it just depends. And yeah, it's easy to like forecast, oh, we're not winning another playoff game. And you're right. But would you say the Chargers are going to win playoff games? You'd be like, yeah, definitely. And they were lucky to win this game at home. So
Mhm.
it's that tight. And I think that if we can figure out minor things, and just get the different mentality. It's just the mentality needs to we need to get that confidence. Win some games, win some tough games. Like, for instance, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if you go and beat Philadelphia and you play a really tough-nosed, strong game and you do that, that's where you can go, we can beat anybody. And now
Yeah,
you're dangerous. So things can flip so fast.
no
It's
doubt.
just so frustrating in the moment because you're like, you had it and
Yeah.
you just didn't finish.
Yeah. No, I mean, no doubt. I'm in full agreement. I mean, I don't think we can judge if this team's going to make the playoffs or win a playoff game at all through 3 weeks. But, so it's important. I feel like it's one of those things you got to balance. Like, it's important to realize that it is only week 3, but not use that as an excuse of like, it's only week 3. And that's one
No.
thing I definitely didn't like about a lot of what some of the players were saying, specifically Bo Nix as well after the game. He's like, it's still early. It's still week 3. Like, we're not throwing the towel in. And it's like, no one's saying that, but you do still have to have the sense of urgency, right? And we all go into the season with like, okay, I had them winning this game, I had them losing this game, I had them 2-1 through the first 3 games,
Mhm.
but we're 1-2, so like now all hell is gonna break loose. But you never know. Like could I see this team winning the next 3 games? If you're asking me genuinely, 100%, I can actually see that. Like
Mhm.
listen, I'll tell you this: if we lose to the Bengals next week at home on Monday night, I would be the first person to say the season's fucking over. All right, like that's unacceptable with a backup. But like to say, okay, can you go into Philadelphia and beat them? I can see a situation where that happens. Absolutely. I mean, but Philly showed, like they did today against the Rams, what good teams do to be able to have to win games, right?
Yes. Yep.
And then after that, it's like, so you got Cincy and Philly. You can win. And then you got the 2 New York teams, the Jets and the Giants. Yes, both of those are very winnable teams. And at that point, you're probably having a different mindset. But the difference is you got to go out there and you got to do it, right? So there's games
Yep.
where you thought you were going to lose, or you thought that you were going to win, you ended up losing. Like this game is like 50-50. I think at the beginning of the year, I think we both had them losing it. But Indianapolis. But then you steal one later, and it all ends up balancing out. But
Yep.
there's got to be a lot of looking in the mirror and saying, like, what kind of team are we going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, Russell Wilson just got benched. How fitting. But anyway, so, yeah, it's just so frustrating, man. And I really don't know if I can take the stupid shit anymore. Like,
That's
the dumb stuff that you would not expect to see from a Sean Payton coach team, especially after the improvements you saw last year.
right.
I
almost feel like I wish he was harder on him. I feel like he's being too soft on him, and it's showing. I don't know why. I think he really, really likes this team. I think he really likes the guys on this team, but it's time to get in that practice and kick some ass because that you have to go in there and be like, you're not going, this is the NFL and you're not going to win football games like that. You have to close them. You have to take them. And just being talented and just having like potential is not going to win you anything.
Yeah.
Like how bad do you want it? And the mistakes is the part where it just drives me nuts. But yeah, I was told like the special teams is supposed to be smarter than this, and Nick Bonito lining up offsides on a punt. I wanted to absolutely murder. I want to see.
Is
I was like,
he even on? Is he usually on punt team?
yeah, because I remember
He is?
like a couple games ago, he should have got a holding call. He was complaining that he didn't get a holding call because he was rushing the punter or whatever. But like, because it was that one in the end zone that we should have got the safety that we ended up scoring, whatever. But how stupid can you be of a football team where you're lining up offsides on a punt on a 4th and 3? Like, I want to, and the coaches, I saw Sean specifically talking to him, and then Benito said something to him and he goes, "Oh, okay." And then he walked back, but it's like, see the replay. He's clearly offsides. It's like,
yeah.
And then we were talking about this off camera beforehand, but like the offsides on Troutman, you're like, how are you going to call that? And he's not offside. I've never even seen an offside. So it's just like, a part of me is just like, okay, why? I'm one of those people. It's just like, okay, why is this happening? I got to look wider than just this. Why are these things happening? Like, it almost feels like a little kid throwing tantrum, like, this isn't fair. Like, my team's not winning. You know what I mean? That's how you feel inside when things are going bad. You're just like so irritated. But at the same time, it's like, what lessons need to be learned from this? And I hope that the lessons that are learned is you have to be mentally tough. You have to be disciplined. You cannot be doing stupid stuff, lining up offsides, slamming guys down when there's no need, whatever it is. You have to, all 60 minutes. These games are won and lost on the smallest of margins. On Bo Nix not getting a first down off of a scramble that he scrambled and got, and then put his knee down slightly before. Now, was he that far, that far away when they marked it? No, it was like that. But you could have just got it, and you just didn't want it enough. You were like, oh, I got it. I got close enough. I'm good. No, you have to take these. And I hope these lessons are learned.
What do you think our identity as a football team is right now?
Talented and soft.
It's a good way of putting it. Because I feel like when I was thinking about it, man, I don't even know, like, what I came up with is we're like hit or miss, the definition of hit or miss in every game. Like, it's either we're getting negative runs and, or maybe 2 yards, or we're getting a 50-yard explosive run, right? Yeah. You're throwing passes short of the line to gain, or, behind the line of scrimmage that go for a couple yards, or you're hitting 50-yard passes over the top. There's no consistency. It's like either one or the other. And even today's game plan was like that. Like, yeah, you talk about the missed throws by Bo, but it's like there wasn't really anything consistently across the field, working the intermediate routes, sustaining drives. It's just none of that. It's like we're either going for the whole thing or nothing, because like our drives are literally 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 7 plays, 28 yards, punt, basically like an extended 3 and out. And then touchdown, 7 plays, 72 yards. And then touchdown, 3 plays, 66 yards. And then 4 plays, 6 yards. 3 plays, 1 yard. 10 plays, 51 yards. And then back to the 3 plays, 0, 3 plays, 9. Like, there's nothing in between. Yeah. And even on the drives that we score touchdowns, it's like a 6-play, like explosive play, scored, cool. But there's no sense of getting it going. I mean, I can't get over the fact that 38 offensive plays is 48. We ran 48 plays and they ran 80. It's just mind blowing to me, but I feel like it goes hand in hand with you're making stupid mistakes and you're not able to sustain anything. And eventually your defense is going to crack when they're on the field so much. And eventually your offense is not going to be able to get into a rhythm when they're just not sustaining anything. So there's this disconnect. And it seems like also, sorry for this rant, but it seems like also whenever the defense is playing super well, the offense is not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, right when the offense starts to pick it up, then the defense starts to shit the bed. And then we're in a position where we can finally okay, we can take control of the game, and then we don't do anything. And then we need a big stop from the defense and they can't get it. It's like, man, the situational football, the complementary football is awful. And that's something that needs to be fixed too, man.
Yeah. No, you know what it feels like? It feels like, I mean, maybe this is an old person talking, but you're almost trying to get a TV to work and it's all fuzzy or whatever. And you're hitting the side, you're hitting switches and you're doing this and that. And then all of a sudden it comes in crystal clear for a little bit. And you're like, oh, what'd you do? And you're like, I don't know what I did, but it's working. And then it starts to go haywire again. You're like, I don't know how to fix it either.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It's I wish they were if I do this, it will do this. If we don't have anything to lean on, like we can't like go, oh, we're up, give it to Harvey, give it to Dobbins, and let's just seal this game. Nope, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Let's give it to Troy. Sutton's going to make this clutch catch. There's nothing I feels like they're just pressing buttons and seeing what's what. And sometimes it's explosive and works. And then other times you're like, it's awful. And I don't think they have a good feel of it because the play calling is all over the place. The fact that he was going for some stuff that I was like, you can't get first downs and you're going for it on fourth down. And then the play calls on fourth down were like, touchdown, great, almost second touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, if Cortland doesn't get like that face mask, he might score. And you're just like, why did we wait till fourth down to do this? Yeah. But then
and let's face it, like both of those fourth down calls were very stupid calls. Now they worked out, but like very dumb. Like, could you imagine if we called a shot play on the first fourth down before the half and it just wasn't there? And you're like, oh, what the hell was that play? Like,
it's like fireable.
Lucky, but the concept is like, what is that? Like, why are we doing that? Or why are we doing that on like 2nd and 1?
Right.
You know, later on in the game, like 2nd and 1 later on in the game, we'll throw like, you know, we'll either, you know, run some weird running play or like we'll try to be cute and, you know, throw like something behind the line of scrimmage or like a screen or something. It's like, I don't know. There seems to be a really weird disconnect there. I mean, no doubt about it. But I think you put it well. And then it makes everything from a statistical standpoint seem like such a facade, right? Like people are looking at it. Oh, we had 21 carries, 118 yards, 5.6 yards average. Well, yeah, but our run game wasn't good. Like of the 118 yards, 65 of those came on 2 plays.
Yeah. And one, let's be honest, that was a pass that they counted as a run.
Which one?
The one where the touchdown to Dobbins.
You're right. Fucking it. I just realized that. They did count. Because I was like, oh, Bo's got 2 touchdown passes. And
that skews Bo's numbers and it skews the running numbers because that's 100% a pass. It just happened to go laterally back behind and it ends up being a run. And you're like, okay, now the whole thing's shot. So yeah, Bo should have 2 touchdowns and 0 picks, but instead he had 1 and so numbers. But he's going to have way more yards and 2 touchdowns. And, you know, it's just,
well, but I didn't like that. Aside from that, but it also like, okay, it goes down as a passing stat, fine. But then that makes the rushing numbers skew a lot too. So it's like, you know, it's like the team is so disconnected. And even the stats, when you're looking at it, it's like, it doesn't paint any of the picture at all.
Right. No, the rushing numbers, if you would have thrown that play into the passing stats, the rushing stats would have looked a lot more what it was because there was only one real good run.
And then Bo had 153 yards. 52 of those were on the bomb to Sutton.
Right.
So it's like, dude, we're just so like, we're so off right now. And it seems like we don't have a go-to set of plays where we're like, hey man, when shit hits the fan and you need a good drive starter or you need to get a 3rd and 5, this is where we're going. And we just don't seem to have that.
And that's the thing when you have like a 6-3 game, how you know you're going to like, you feel good that you're going to win the game because you're like, at least we can do what we do. And if you have a blow up game, like you could be like, well, if it gets tight, we know we can just lean on this. And without that, you're in real dire straits because you're kind of like, I hope this works. We'll see. I don't know, maybe. And sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. You look stupid. So I think that's the thing with Sean. And I think that's why Harbaugh has Sean's number, honestly, because Harbaugh is like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to build. And this is what we're going to do. And that's it.
Yeah. And there's Sean no panic. And it's like, if we lose that way, it's fine.
And Sean is like, I'm just going to figure it out. I'll just figure it out on the fly in my mind and my brain will beat the other team. And sometimes that works, but other times it's like, how about we just get real good at stuff, like real good at some set plays. And I know he's always asking like, oh, give me the plays that you love the most and we'll do those and da. But it's like, can we just have like some runs that everybody loves to do or the linemen love to do? Because right now I don't feel confident in anything. No. And that's the stuff we have to develop.
Yeah, because when you look at the deep shots that were missed as an example, like you try to pull a positive and you're like, dude, guys are wide open. Like Sean is scheming these guys open, but something is off.
And I feel like Sean and we've said this the last 2 weeks, and it's continuing to week 3, and I hope it stops. But he's the keep it simple, stupid is continuing because he's almost doing stuff to set up stuff later, which is like, oh, that's smart in a way, but you don't need to do it to the point where it's just like, we're going to tank these first 4 drives.
Exactly.
But later we're going to get them. How about you just get them now? How about you just freaking drive down? The Chargers are doing stuff where it's just like, oh, they're in this defense. Okay. Oh, we have this matchup. We'll throw it over here. Oh, like it's just like 2 + 2 = 4 for them. And for us, it's like, we got guys in the fourth quarter, we're going to hit a big one. And it's like, and then it bounces off your fingertips and you're like, well, we had them, but we just didn't execute. It's like, can we just be good at stuff and be like the whole way through?
Yeah.
And that's driving me nuts.
And then like on the, like even on the defensive side, right? And I felt like the defense was 0% to blame for today's game. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I thought they were plenty good, but it's like, it's almost one of those things where you got to get a feel for it. Like, so the offense has got to get a feel of like, okay, defense is playing really well. We just need to have some sustained drives. And if we get 3 points, it's a win. We don't have to get a shot play every time.
Right.
And on the defense, it's like, hey, we just need to, buckle down and be able to, toughen up in the red zone like they did at times. But then when it's really, really important time, it's like they'll end up faltering. Like the one time we actually finally need them to get a red zone stop, they're unable to get it. And really that touchdown pass to Allen was like, it was just great defense on great offense.
Tip your hat. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to tip your hat on that. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I can't get over how out of sync this team is. Like week 1, the offense was horrendous and the defense was phenomenal. And then week 2, the offense starts off phenomenal and the defense was atrocious. And then in this game, you had moments of the defense being really good when the offense was really bad. And then right when the offense turns it on, the defense goes to shit. And then at the end of the game, both sides suck. And it's like, dude, I can't deal with this no more, man. Like,
I know. The thing
hopefully this team is really believing, like a lot of people say the locker room is, that they're really optimistic, but I'm gonna have to see it until we believe it.
The thing that I really, really appreciate in retrospect about like the Peyton Manning era is he was such a good leader about getting on guys being like, first down, second down, first down. Like, don't let it get to third. Just get positive plays. You don't have to win every single thing with this huge play. Just be positive. Get positive. Make it easier for the next thing. And it gets to third down. It's third and short. We could pick that up. We could do this. And right now, it doesn't feel like it's either third and long or it's first and then first again. And then first. Like, stuff's working, or it's just like there's no cohesive. They need to get a mentality of like, just get 5 and then the next play, get another positive. But we do these things where it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, then there's a penalty, and then there's this, and now it's third and long, and now we don't, you don't want to force anything, because then you want to turn it over. So it's just like, just be consistent and get positive every single time, or almost every.
Yeah. No doubt, man. And it's like every time there's a thing like something of like a particular thing of emphasis that we're emphasizing throughout the whole week. You'll see a big improvement in that particular area, but then we'll filter somewhere else.
Yep.
Right. Like I guarantee you, penalties is going to be the biggest focus area this next week, and we're probably not going to have a lot of penalties next week, right? And in a game that should be an absolute blowout, but. I'm just hoping that there's not something else that pops up. Like we were really bad on third down and on turnovers in week 1. We were significantly better in third downs and on turnovers last week offensively, but our third down on defense went to shit when it was good the week before. And then now our third down. So it's like, you can tell it's such a team in transition, but again, having those like back to basics plays would really help in those moments where you're like, dude, things aren't working. We just need to get into a groove and get some confidence.
Yeah.
And there's not any of that.
Throw up the newest comment from T Fishes, and T Fish is good to see you, man. That I'm not comparing Manning to Bo at all. I'm comparing Manning's mentality to what Sean needs to be, how he needs to be coaching this team. Bo, I would never put Bo. It'd be like, hey, Bo, just be, Peyton Manning, who's in year 15 or whatever. Not at all. I just think they need to have the mentality of positive yardage, and you don't need to trick people. Just you have the talent. Just enforce your will. Like death by a bunch of like cuts. You know what I mean? You don't need to like slice their head off with this huge play. It's just methodically just impose your will on these teams. And that's easier said than done. This is the NFL. But if you feel good about like we're just a good football team that we do a lot of good things instead of panic football team, because I agree with you. This is a good team. Like we should have had the Colts, who are legit good. I think they're legit good.
Yeah,
and
legit.
we could have beaten the Chargers, should have beaten the Chargers. Now, in a way, the Chargers should have been up on us way more early, and then we all of a sudden exploded, and then they would have felt really bad about losing that game. They would have felt like collapsed, and then they ended up coming back, so that it all balanced out kind of. But I think what the last 2 weeks show is, I honestly think this team has the potential to play with anybody, but it's obviously where the mistakes are. We're undisciplined and we're not smart and we need to be tougher. And that's the bottom line. And I think if you learn those lessons early, you can peak at the right time and beat the tough teams later down the road. And hopefully we're looking back at the early part of the season and saying, thank God we had losses like that. Because if we would have jumped out to this big start, I've seen Shanahan teams back in the day where all we needed to do was win one game in the last four games of the year, and we collapse because we didn't have what it took to do it when we needed to. So learn those lessons now.
And this like lack of disciplines is that's probably the most confusing thing. And I break it down, and obviously like I'm partly joking when I say this, but it's almost like this team is like overjuiced. Like they're overly cracked out. You know what I mean? Like even Bo Nix is very erratic when you didn't see that last year. And then you have like guys want to go out there and knock people's socks off, telling Hufanga making plays all over the field, and they're making stupid boneheaded mistakes. And it's like everybody's so like antsy and just wanting to go, they do dumb shit. Because that's what I feel like a lot of the penalties are. It's like them just not being calm but focused in the moment. They're just like super amped and ready to go.
I totally agree. I mean, I played basketball growing up, and I always felt like you would be so like, I'm listening to this music beforehand and I'm going to do this. And you go out and you start forcing stuff and you have to get to the mentality of just like, let the game come to me, do some other stuff, get some easy ones, just see the ball go through the hoop. And then you can start to do stuff. But I totally agree. The vibe of this team is it's too amped. It's like we're playing like it's the playoffs when it's week 1, week 2, week 3. And I get like maybe week 1 being like, oh my gosh, we've had this much time off and you've sat for so long. But like now just play. Even that play that the fourth down to Cortland, that was the big 52-yarder. Bo, it's like they knew that play. It felt like they were comfortable with that play.
Oh, he was so chill.
He's so chill, stepped right in, hit him right in stride. No problems. But like it was the other stuff where they're just like, and then I'm going to jump pass. I'm going to do this. and it's just like, okay, whatever you guys are doing. Like, I don't know if you're spending too much time on one and not enough on the, I don't know, but like, I totally agree. The mood is frantic and it doesn't need to be. I think we'll be fine if we just calm down.
Yeah.
And I hope that game means something.
Week 18, last week of the season. Yeah. And he said McDaniels led team. Weren't we? We were 6-0. We were 6-0 that year.
Yeah.
We lost 4 in a row, and then we won 2 in a row, and then we lost 4 in a row.
We beat the vaunted Patriots.
Yeah.
With those ugly, ugly jerseys. I remember it because I was in Hawaii on vacation.
We had these socks on.
That's the socks. Yeah. And I remember that game because McDaniels is pumping up the crowd afterwards and all stuff. And it was a straight collapse after that. So that just shows you right there. It's like, you have to earn everything. You can't.
No,
I would rather have a season where you slowly got tougher and better than a season obviously like that, where you start feeling yourself too early and then you're you don't have the goods to back it up.
Yeah. And I mean,
So
and we were playing with fire a lot last year, man. I mean, we had a lot of games where the defense would make these absurd game-changing plays, like scoring touchdowns that
mhm,
bailed us out. And
mhm.
so now we're being forced to have the offense figure out how to go out there and consistently win it themselves in games where they need to. Um,
Yep.
and that's another part of this is like that's what takes us back to like I hated all of the expectations and the pressure and everything that people were putting on us and talking about Super Bowl and these crazy things. Is because it's like, dude, we are like we're at the point where if we just repeat what we did last year and we build on like a few different things and look a little bit better, I'm fine. Like I think I had us at 11 wins or
Mm,
maybe even it might have been 11 wins, like right around as many wins as we had last year, but
yeah.
it looking better. That was step 2. So to sit there and talk about like being a Super Bowl thing is crazy. If you're looking at it in that mentality, then you're gonna be doom and gloom all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, look at a team like Buffalo. Buffalo has been a contender for how many seasons in a row now? And they haven't got it done. Same with Baltimore, with Lamar. These are really, really, really good teams. And they are still trying to figure out how to win those big ones in the clutch in the playoffs. So it is not easy. And you learn more from losses than you do from wins. So I just hope the hype train is dead after this game. I hope that they all have to have a look at themselves in the mirror and saying, I don't care how talented we think this team is. We are going to have to stack every single step to get to where we want to get to. There is no shortcuts. And
mhm.
if they have that mentality, they will be fine. Because I honestly, for certain players, and Victory Lap just pulled up one, Ellis. There's certain players that I'm just like, this dude looks like a long-term gamer, right? Um, and we just need to build on those things. I think some of those people are just going to get better and better every single week and all that. And honestly, is there a chance the Chargers won the battle but lost the war today with some of those injuries? I mean, you got
Yeah,
Najee Harris done for the year. I would assume it looked like. I mean, if you're the Chargers, you could feel like, oh, we're 3-0 and we're looking, we've won these games, but like there's also like a part of attrition for the year. You have to be able to last,
yeah,
and it's going to be interesting to see with that.
it
So
will. It will be. Yeah, I
the
mean,
whole the whole Dre Greenlaw stuff and all that's gone on, who knows? I'm going to just at this point take it as like anything we get from him is a bonus. I think he should be fine by week 7, but we thought that a long time. We thought he'd be there in week 1. So
yeah,
at this point, you know, I will say, and Broncos fan, 1030 just brought it up. Singleton was so bad last week, but I thought he was better this game, and I thought Shenaud was actually good. So I have confidence that it's not just a matter of like he's bad now and he's old now. It's just a matter of getting him into game shape from a super long layoff. He wasn't great, but he was better than last week for sure. So we just need to keep building.
yeah. No doubt about that. And again, man, I mean, I'm pulling up the schedule here because it's like this just shows how much things in the NFL can change, right? Because at the
Yep.
beginning of the year, these 2 games were like,
Oh God.
I mean,
Yep.
this 3-game stretch in a row was like crazy.
Yep.
And now it's like, dude, they don't look as hard, right? Now that doesn't mean that you still don't got to go out there and win, but like things can constantly change. Houston looks terrible. Dallas looks terrible, right? Green Bay looks unbelievable though, right? And even though they had a tough loss, and you don't know how the hell Jackson, you don't know how these people are going to look every single
Right.
week. So it's like
Yeah.
you just got to look at it genuinely as much as you can on a week-to-week basis and say, what can we build off of? And the good news is there's been a lot of things that have been better week over week with us, but there's been a lot of things that have also been worse. But so much of that is self-inflicted. It's like it's so much easier to make adjustments on things that like you can control versus just another player being another team being significantly better than you. Like, I don't think we're going to go into many games this year where you're like, man, that team was just flat out better.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
that's a huge bonus.
Yeah.
But you still got to go out there and not do dumb stuff. But that's kind of what I'm hanging my hat on, is like, you're not like, there was so many games, oh my God, over the miserable stretch that we had where you're just like, dude, it didn't matter what we did. We could have played a perfect game, won the turnover battle, and we're still going to lose because they're just better.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not, like, aside from the Philadelphia game, I look at the next 10 games and genuinely I'm like, I don't think any of these teams are flat out better than us. We could obviously lose to all of them,
Right.
but we should have a very good chance in every single game that we play.
Yeah,
There was probably be the favorite in every game except for the Philly game.
There were years where you go down 10-0, it's over. Like, there ain't no coming back. Like, as soon as you lost the lead, it's over. You're like, well, that's it. You know, the mental toughness was so bad. And T Fish is, man, he is. Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
okay, let's switch to positives.
I think starting to get a little positive there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have the talent. I think as long as, you know, you kind of change the mentality of paper champions of like, oh, we're going to be this and that and the other. I think you just put the hard hat on and get to work. And, you know, we need that montage in every Rocky movie or whatever it is, where you just get in the lab and you just put in the work. That's what we need to do right now. And I honestly think I have very like high expectations. That's a good team that we just played, and we ripped off 17 straight points on them, and we had them circling. So I feel really good about the talent on this team. We, like you just said, there were years where you needed everything to go right to win certain games. And I don't feel that way anymore. I just think that this is a young team. And once they get a little confidence and a little mental toughness to them, and that stuff is earned through reps and through games. Confidence is earned of success under stress and, you know, tough situations and overcoming them. Like, it's like in life, if you just climb a mountain and it's like that like, you know, in Colorado we have 14ers. If that last 1,000 feet is the hardest, because like you start to feel, oh, I don't know, this may be good enough. I don't know. There's altitude sickness, there's stuff going on, but it's like, once you do it and you accomplish that and you're like, oh, I've done that. The next time when you start to feel a little something's going on, you go, no, I know what this is. I've been here before. I'm going to do it again. You just have to start stacking that. And I honestly, to be positive, as much as frustrated I was the last two games, I'm kind of okay with the way that we've lost these games, in the fact that they are going to have to like put in the work. Because if we would have luckily won those games, I don't think the mentality would have been, I think they would have thought, yeah, we are really good and it is going to be easy. And now they've learned right now it's not going to be easy, but we have the talent to do it. So, Crawshaw looks awesome.
Crawshaw looks like a stud.
He looks great.
I think it's very well said. I feel like when you review a game tape as a team, and you know, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to give a percentage, but I would say more than half of the negatives that you're taking are self-inflicted, are things that you had full control over. It's a big positive. It's a big positive for the team, because you're like, dude, we can control these things. And if we can control the controllables, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win in every game. And we can certainly go on to a winning streak. Now, we have to break this losing streak, right? We gotta play on Monday night against the Bengals next week at home. We got to take care of business on that. And then after that, dude, you travel to Philly, you get an upset win in a tough, grinded out game, or even if it happens the next week. Those are the types of things where you're like, man, I can see this team going on some sort of a streak. We saw it last year. You know, we started off 0-2. We went and beat we actually smashed a really good Tampa team in Tampa. Got a grinded out win in a monsoon against the Jets, and then we were able to really start stringing things along. Right, we ended up losing to the Chargers, but there was a lot of, you know, things that we did in that game that kind of beat us, and then we won like 4, 5, 6 in a row. And I think we're significantly more talented this year. I think that we're a lot better across the board. And so that's certainly something that I feel like can happen. I mean, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 6-game stretch before the bye after the Philadelphia game where, again, if we start to clean up a lot of the things that need to be cleaned up, we could easily win 6 straight. There's no doubt about it. And we will be, unless we have any kind of major injuries, we will be favorites in every single one of those games.
Yep.
So that in and of itself should tell you a lot. And I think should bring a lot of positivity. But again, clock is ticking, and we just got to be smarter, man. We just got to be a lot more disciplined. Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's some years you just are like, is it possible to win any game? Sure. But is it likely? No. Now it's like any single game going into it, I feel like at least there's a legitimate shot. I mean, let's be honest, like the Chiefs don't look the same, and maybe they will turn it on later, and they will, but like up until they do, last year they were winning every game close, and this year they don't look the same. And the Raiders haven't shown that they're contenders yet. And we just played the Chargers to the brink on the road. So AFC West to me is, and they just got a lot of injuries, obviously. That's going to hurt them long term. So, you just need to, if we just get the right mentality of nothing's going to be handed to you, you're going to have to earn everything, and you're going to earn everything. If you just go into every game like that, I honestly think this team is going to be great. I really do.
Yeah, I do. And here's some of the stuff that I'm just like, I don't know if I can get on board with, talking about like teams don't fear the wide receiver room and trade for Tyreek Hill or like this one, Mims is a toy, Franklin is still raw. Dude, listen, you're not, the last thing that you want to do on this team or on any team that you're still trying to develop, because let's not make a mistake, we are a developing team, is to try to put a Band-Aid fix. Like the best way that you can get the most out of Franklin and turn him into the, potential superstar receiver that you think he can be, or get the most out of Mims in his development, or work Pat Bryant in, the best way that you can get those guys to go is by playing them, is by getting them out there and letting them figure it out. And we take the bumps and bruises along the way. The receivers were not a problem today. The receivers were wide open. Bo was missing them today, flat out. But the receivers were open, at least on those 2 particular plays. So I think we're very deep at receiver. I think we're very talented at receiver. And that's a room that I think will get better. I think hopefully we get Ingram back and Ingram healthy. I don't think we've seen a remotely healthy version of Evan Ingram at all, because I don't know how much more my heart can take with like having to see Troutman and Kroll play.
Troutman had the worst game out of anybody on the field today.
He was horrendous. And he's not really even that good. Like, I know, I get Sean likes him. Like, Sean loved little Jordan Humphrey because he was a good blocker. Thing about him is he actually was a good blocker. Evan Ingram, Adam Troutman is not a good blocker, and he's not even a good receiver.
Right.
So he did something to Sean Payton, but it's also, we have no choice right now, dude.
I know.
What are we really going to do? When you don't address tight end, you decide to draft the basketball player, and then you decide to draft the punter instead of, that, or trade back and get more picks to be able to address it. Something you got to work through.
How much was that killing you seeing Aranda Gadsden just doing really well?
It killed me because I was in Victory Live. Shout out to Victory Live. I was on 3 lives today. I did a pregame, I did a halftime, and I did this. And Victory was on every single one. He was dope.
Oh man, shout out.
Victory can tell you, bro. I said specifically, I saw that Will Dissly was out, and I was like, oh, they are going to utilize Aranda Gadsden. And it's really because of that's just what Harbaugh did. I mean, the first game he did it with Kamani Vidal out of the backfield. And then the second game it was Stone Smart, who was like this wide receiver playing tight end. And I'm like, dude, Gadsden's going to get an opportunity today and he's going to cook. But I'm not surprised because he's really good. And what I can appreciate about the Chargers is they don't ask him to block. They don't give a shit that he doesn't block. They're just like, go out there and get open, dude.
Yep.
And he did.
Yep.
It did kill me a little bit. I felt like a little bit of like, oh, it's cool that I called it. I should have bet on it like I said I was going to, but yeah, it killed me. There's a lot of that, bro. Harold Fannin is going crazy.
Really?
Harold Fannin is. Do you not see what he's been doing in Cleveland?
I haven't.
Oh, bro, he's been awesome. And they're using him at fullback. They're using him everywhere. But I gotta pull up his numbers for the season. He had 3 catches today. But dude, I've been blown away. Like I knew Harold Fannin was gonna be pretty good, but I thought he's gonna take some time. He has 15 catches and 140 yards in the season so far.
Wow. Yeah. It goes to like so many people will take a guy who's really successful in college and then talk people out of why they won't be successful in the NFL. And it's like, well, they shouldn't be successful in college either, but they are because they're good. They're good at this sport. That's why. Yeah. And
like,
so
when he played Bowling Green, he didn't test all that good. But I'm like, but the dude is always open.
Yeah. I mean,
and he was doing that. I mean, and so far in the NFL, I mean, the guy's got more catches and receiving yards than our entire tight end room combined already.
Yep, I know that was it is there was a comment earlier about we didn't address inside linebacker and tight end, and it's showing, and that's true. It's true 100%.
Yeah. But again, and as much as it's true, addressing those 2 positions would not change the fact that we are extremely undisciplined. Right. And we're making boneheaded mistakes and all these stupid penalties and our inability to just put teams away. Like it would have projected really nicely for the future. And that's something that will definitely be like, oh man, now we got to address it in this upcoming draft because we didn't do it last year. But I don't think it makes a single difference in terms of the game, like the results of the games now.
Yeah. I mean, we did, let's be honest, we did address it. We signed Dre Greenlaw and Evan Ingram, and they're not playing. So that's why it feels like that. You did address it.
And we should have addressed it more in the draft as well. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, had we done that, it still, I don't think makes any difference in terms of the results of the team of where we're at right now.
I agree.
Maybe moving forward, but yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
It's a tough one. Yeah. Well, looking forward to Monday night. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot about that. It was on Monday. So we'll have to shift horsepower hour and maybe do a post-game horsepower hour or something. But there's a lot to be positive about. Those are the most frustrating losses. Those are the ones that like you wake up Monday morning and your day is slanted off of what happened yesterday. Like, I'm still pissed.
That's pretty much my week. That's pretty
much my week. Your week is shot. Or if you win those games, you're kind of like, oh, you're gonna like somebody cut you off. Yeah, it's fine, no big deal. Otherwise, you're like, it just goes that way.
Me. So, it kills me, man. But anyways, we just need to. Again, we could be looking back at this in November, December, and we wouldn't even be thinking like. I know last year in November, December, we weren't thinking about like the loss that we had to the Seahawks and the loss that we had to the Steelers in the first 2 weeks. Like it's like those were so far gone. We're just focused on the task ahead, and I think we'll be in that position again too. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it really sucks. So we'll see.
Yeah, it sucks so bad because you had it and you let it slip away, and if you just felt like if you just gave it just a little more, if you just had that killer instinct, you would have won. But that's where you learn lessons in these games, and hopefully down the road, maybe in the playoffs, maybe in a game to get to the playoffs, you think back and go, I cannot go 95% right now. I have to put my head through a wall and get it. And that's the difference. So I have confidence. I like the makeup of this team. I think the reason why Sean was so bullish on this team is because he likes the people on this team, the players on this team, and the makeup of this team. I just think they're young and they listen to the press clippings a little bit too much. And hopefully this shocks everybody from the top to the bottom that nothing's giving, everything's earned, and now you just got to go get it done.
Yeah. So. Well, Cody, thanks for tuning in, man. I'm not going to go into this comment because we just promised victory lap. We give them like the final 5 to 10 minutes of being positive. But I don't fully agree with it. It's very different. Your boy Troy Franklin that you you had for a 1,200-yard projection. He's
11.
gonna be he's better this year. He was cheeks last year. Talanoa Hufanga's making plays. I mean, he made a bonehead mistake, but he's good, dude.
He is good.
He's really good.
Yep.
And so, we'll see. I just can't wait to get Dre Greenlaw and Evan Ingram back, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully
let's
that
hope.
happens soon. Malcolm Roach coming back is going to be a big difference.
I totally
It's
agree.
going to be helpful.
I totally agree.
Really, really helpful.
That a lot of those early runs in today's game where it was first and 10, and then all of a sudden it was 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, and they picked up 5 or 6. And I felt like Najee Harris was getting like, he's a slippery little dude. Like he's a slippery guy where you think you're going to tackle him for 3 and he ends up getting 5 or 6. So you're just like,
yeah,
I think Malcolm Roach is going to be one of those guys that people aren't thinking about, and it's going to make a big difference.
No, and he brings so much energy to this defense too.
Right. It's the mentality.
He's out there just talking shit, celebrating. Like, I'm excited to get Malcolm back out there again as well too. So,
yep.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be huge.
No doubt. Well, appreciate you, Jeremy, man. This is always fun. Always feel better after doing these. Hopefully we'll have a lot more positive ones moving forward, man. But Broncos country, we got to get better as a team, and we could always get better as people. So let's focus on getting better every single day and hoping that the team does the same. Jeremy, you got anything cooking up, man? Anything that we can see at in the next few days?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be doing horsepower hour tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll be, there's, some commiserating, but also I honestly think there is a lot of positives. And I want to just echo your statement about like, we love football. We're like diehard football people. We are on a Sunday night sitting and watching and creating YouTube clips about a football game, but like, there's so much more important things in the world. And, after the week that this country's had and stuff like that, it's just, let's just treat each other well and understand that our family and friends and everything that we have in our life is so important, and a football game, don't let that ruin it. So that's all I have to say.
Well said, man. Well said. And I appreciate Kodiak for starting off his post game with David the way that he did as well. And puts a lot of things into perspective in a sense of like, there are things in life that are a lot more important. And it's important to remember that all the time, and the good times and in the bad, man. So
absolutely
appreciate you guys, man, rolling with us. We'll catch you on the flip side. Tune into Horsepower Hour tomorrow. And until then, peace out.
See you guys.